Let's start the set with going through the basic information. 8 cats in a group have learned to follow at least one of the two commands, pick and go. Each cat is one or the other of the three breeds of cats, namely Sheru, Raru, and Texas, and each of these three breeds is represented at least once among the group. All female cats in the group are Rarus. It does not mean that all Rarus are female. There is at least one female cat in the group. Now, let's go through the next four statements. At least two of the cats have learned to follow pick command but not go command. So there are at least two cats that have learned to follow go command pick command only, and in next statement at least two of the cats have learned to follow the go command but not the pick command. Similarly, there are at least two cats that have learned only go command. In the next statement, at least one of the cats has learned to follow both the command. Nothing new. In the last statement, it says among the 8 cats, only Texas have learned to follow the go command. It does not mean that all the Texas have learned to follow the go command. So now let's summarize the information given in the four statement in the table. Let's left topmost cell represents command, and the cell adjacent to it represents the number of cats that follow that particular command. Now represent here pick for P, and go is represented by Z, and then pick and go both by P plus Z. According to the given information, here it should be 2 plus. Quantity after plus has to be a whole number, and the same goes for go, and 1 plus for pick and go. As it is given in the fourth statement, only Texas have learned to follow the go command. It means this part has to be Texas only. From this we can conclude that there are at least 3 Texas in the group of the cats. Now proceed to the questions. Let's take first question of this set. Here, if each cat has learned to follow at least one of the two commands, it is already given, so it's not something new. Now, then all of the following must be true except. To tackle this kind of problem, we have to go through each of the four statements given in the options. So take the first option. Here it says all Rarus have learned to pick. Of course, all Rarus have learned to pick only because only Texas have learned to go. So statement first is perfectly true. Now come to the second option. All Serus have learned to pick. Of course, this also has to be true, as only Texas have learned to follow go. Come to option C. Here it says all Texas have learned to go. As I earlier stated, only Texas have learned to go does not mean that all Texas have learned to go. So this statement may or may not be true. So this is the statement that has to be our answer, because it must not be true. Before going to next question, let's check last option also. Here it says no Rarus has learned to go, simply as it is given that only Texas have learned to go, so there's no point Rarus would have learned this command. So statement D is also true. Now move to next question. Here it is given that if 4 of the cats are male and 4 of the remaining are female, then which of the following must be true except. From the given information, we can conclude that there are 4 Rarus, and as it is also given that each of the 3 breeds is represented at least once. So there has to be at least one Serus out of the given 8 cats, and as we know that there are at least 3 Texas, so number of Texas in that case has to be exactly 3. We have got all the information related to the number of cats belonging to each of the 3 given breeds. So let's come to the options. Here in first option it says one of the cats is Seru. Yes, it is definitely true. Now come to second statement, exactly 4 of the cats are Rarus. Yes, it is also true. Come to the next statement, exactly 3 of the cats are Texas. It is also true. Now come to the last option, exactly 4 of the cats have learned to pick. But as we know that only Texas have learned to follow command go, it means all the other breeds of cat have learned to follow command pick. Here the number of cats belonging to the breeds other than Texas is 5. So whatever given in this statement is not true. There are exactly 5 cats that have learned to follow pick. So statement or option D is not correct, hence it has to be our answer. In take the next question. If the group includes more Serus than Texas, then the number of male cats among the group that have learned to follow command pick is. Here it is given that number of Serus in the group is more than that of Texas. We know that there are at least 3 Texas, and for time being assume there are exactly 3 Texas. So if the number of Texas is 3, then the number of Sherus has to be at least 4. And we also know that there is at least one cat that belongs to each breed, so there has to be at least one Rarus also. From here we can conclude that there has to be exactly 4 Serus and exactly 3 Texas. So again we have got all the information related to the number of cats belonging to the given 3 breeds. Here it is asking the number of male cats among the group that have learned to follow command pick. We know that at least 2 cats have learned exactly only go command, and there is at least 1 cat that has learned to follow both pick and go command. As there are exactly 3 Texas, so the number of cats that have learned only go command has to be 2, and the number of cats that have learned to follow pick and go both commands has to be 1 in this problem. And it is also known to us all the cats that belong to breeds S or say Sherus and Rarus have learned only pick command, and there are 4 Serus, that is male cats, that have learned only pick command, and there is exactly 1 male cat that has learned pick and go commands. So we can conclude that there are exactly 5 male cats that have learned pick command. So answer of this question has to be 5. So option C is the correct answer. Now come to the last question of this set. Had the number of cats in the group been 9 and the group included more Sherus than Texas and more Texas than Rarus, then what is the maximum number of cats that could have been female? As we saw in previous question, if the number of Serus is more than the number of Texas, then there has to be at least 4 Sherus and at least 3 Texas. And in the given problem we have to maximize the number of female cats, and we know that all the female cats are Rarus only. So to get the desired answer, the remaining 2 cats should belong to Raru, and if they belong to Raru, then they can be female cats. From this we can conclude that the number of female cats as per the given constraint cannot be more than 2, and the maximum number of cats that could have been female is 2. So option D is the correct answer. So we are done with this set. That's all for this set.